God. Check this. It's so freaking humid out here. Let's see. I might not be able to do this today. Sup, taters? Sup, taters? Can Vandal here. It's probably the hottest day of the year, and I know I say that all the time, but not only is it hot, but it just rained. And it rained just enough for it to feel like hot piss out here. I can't wear my glasses. Clean them up. Let's see. They're already foggy. Alright, Will.
No spectacles today.
Taters, it's hotter than a roofer's butt crack right now. I mean, it's oh hell no degrees outside. But I'm going to try to do this. So you should never doubt my dedication. Alright, taters, besides sweating profusely today, sweating a lot today, I'm going to be talking about tubes. Now, I don't shoot a lot of tubes. In fact, I can't remember, well, up until recently, I hadn't done a tube video on my channel. Well, about 6 months ago, I had purchased 2 bags of tubes from SimpleShot. And I was making some bands the other day, and I saw them, and I decided, hey, I'm going to shoot some tubes and just give tubes a fair shake. Woo! But not only are we going to talk about tubes, but today I'm going to reveal to you my top tube shooter. But before we get into it, if you have not subscribed to the channel, why don't you do that? Just go down below, hit that subscribe button, and if you like what you see, hit that like button, and don't forget to hit the bell notification so you can get everything that I'm putting out, because Can Vandal's putting out. And with that said, let's get to the video. It's hot.
I'm sweating like Snoop Dogg waiting on a drug test.
Alright, taters, today, like I said, we're going to be talking about tubes, and later on revealing my top tube shooter. You say, what are tubes? What are these things here? Now, if you've watched my channel any period of time, you know I don't shoot a lot of tubes. Now, I don't have anything against tubes, I just prefer flatbands. But I understand not everybody shares the same preference as me, so today I decided to take a little time to talk about tubes for those who maybe have never shot tubes, or they may be interested. Now, not only have I shot a lot of tubes this week, I have cut a lot of tubes. I mean, just for experimentation. I call them test tubes. That joke's free. Get it? Test tubes. For testing. I'm sorry. But anyway, I have thoroughly explored tubes for the last 2.5 weeks. And I've come to some conclusions. Like the one I'm going to reveal today, my top tube shooter. But before we get into that, let's talk about tubes. Now, just as there are those that prefer flatbands, there are those that prefer to shoot tubes. I've even met them. They're strange creatures. God. I hope I can survive this. God. It is running down my crack. I ain't lying. I am not lying. I feel a lather. But there are those out there who really like to shoot tubes, and tubes have their benefits. I mean, for one, tubes, they have a longer shelf life than flatbands. I mean, this tube here I just banded the other day will probably last me all the way through the zombie apocalypse. But tubes have a long shelf life. Now, another benefit to tubes is that they attach to the pouch only one way. It don't matter if you shoot them over the top or through the forks. You just tie it on, it'll serve both purposes. Wow. You can shoot them single, you can shoot them double, you can wrap and tuck them, you can put them on with a clip. There is a variety of ways that you can not only attach them, but configurations in which you can shoot them. And any frame you can shoot flatbands on, you most likely can shoot And any frame that you can shoot flatbands on, you most likely can shoot tubes on as well. Now, while it's true that most frames can accommodate tubes, there are some shooters that are specifically made and designed to shoot tubes, as well as flats. And when it came to picking my top tube shooter, that's one of the criteria I used to pick the one that was the best. It had to be a frame that was designed to shoot tubes, as well as flats. And I got a couple frames in my collection like that, and I put them to the test. And In fact, I had one about took my nostril off. I took a shot right in the nose. It shook my boogers. I think I even said a bad word. And after much testing and shooting in North Carolina's hot and humid weather, my top tube shooter in my collection is none other than the original Torque by SimpleShot. Now, the Torque Slingshot has been around since the very beginning of time. In fact, it was a Torque Slingshot that David used to kill Goliath. That's not true. It was a Scout LT. I'm telling you, Tater, there's a lot I can say about this frame. In fact, this is probably the second or third frame I actually purchased when I got into this. What's up, Tater? I have shot this frame over the last few years for many hours, and it remains one of my top shooters. Along with all the awesome features of the Torque, one thing I really love about this is that it was designed to shoot tubes. But now I want to take a moment to tell you why I chose the Torque as my top tube shooter. Alright, my first reason I chose the Torque as my top tube shooter is because of its versatility. Not only can the Torque shoot a single tube, but it also can accommodate doubles. God knows. I'm drenched. I'm sweating like a whore in church. Alright, the reason I got this band set hanging off is for this very point. I wanted to show you the versatility of the Torque when it comes to tubes. Again, it can take single bands and you can put them on with a clip, or you can wrap and tuck, whatever you want to do. Or, what I really like about this, and let me take this clip off real quick so I can show you this. Alright, not only can it accommodate a single, but it can shoot a double, and the attachment method is second to none. I think it's probably the best out there on the market. Check this out. All you got to do is take your tube, and you see right here, look. Can you see that? You've got a little cutout right there. Check this out. All you do is just take this, just like that. Probably the easiest band attachment out there when it comes to tubes. Now, there are probably those out there that have noticed I've got some cuffing right here towards the end. Now, you don't have to do this. I do this because it just kind of keeps the bands together. Kind of keeps them from rolling from side to side. Now, whether you use cuffing or not, this leads me into the next reason why I chose the Torque as my top tube shooter. And that is, it has positional dimples. Or positioning dimples. I made the term up, but I'll show you what I'm talking about. Check this out. Look. You see up top there? Look. You see right there? You see these little dimples right there? When you put this on, look, it drops it right in place. Now, why is that beneficial? Well, it's beneficial because it helps in keeping the bands from rolling from side to side. I really love that feature. And when you add the cuffing, it positions it there even more. But let me be clear, you don't necessarily need cuffing. That's just something I do. Without the cuffing, those dimples will position that band just fine. And even when you want to run singles with a clip or wrap and tuck, you can still use, check it out, that dimple to position your tube. That's pretty awesome. Now, the Torque is a dedicated over-the-top shooter. And when it comes to tubes, that's the configuration you have to go with. Which is totally fine because we all know what TTF stands for. Terminal Turd Flinger. But although it's limited to OTT shooting, it is by far my best tube shooter in my collection. Alright, before it gets too dark, I'm going to pop a couple shots off. I've really enjoyed shooting this thing over the last few days. Well, actually, I've enjoyed shooting all of my tube shooters. And again, I've had some I liked and some I didn't like. But this is the one, the Torque, that shined above all the rest. I'm going to take this clip off real quick. And I'm going to shoot doubles today. Because I just feel like it. Let's get this thing configured. Look at there. I mean, it's that easy. That easy. All right, let's get to shooting before it gets too dark. Again, I'm shooting doubles, and I'm going to be shooting 8mm. So, and I forgot again the size of these pans. I did it on my last video too, but I'll put it on the screen. But I'm going to be shooting some 8mm steel from SimpleShot. Check this out. All right. All right. Can you see me? Here we go. Oh, I want to thank Josh Deals. I'm shooting the pouch, brother. This is the pouch you made me. If you need some good pouches, check him out. But here we go. The torque. Oh, let me get my lanyard on. All right. Here we go. Now, this is my test shot. I'm gonna go for the can up front, the big one. Ooh, I shot just inside. That's one thing. When I was shooting, there was a bit of adjustment from shooting flat bands to tubes, and I'll just go ahead and say, when you do shoot them, don't lose heart. I mean, you just got to find your shot. It is a little different. There we go. There we go. Another thing I do like about these tubes is that for you speed shooters, there's a lot of speed shooters that like to use tubes, and it's because they pretty much go back into position. You don't have to fight them and unwrap them and stuff like that, but they just kind of land in the same place every time. So for you speed shooters, you might want to try some tubes. Now, I'm not saying you can't do it with flat bands. People do it all the time. I'm just saying a single tube would probably be more efficient. And that's coming from someone who is an amateur at speed shooting. All right, here we go. Oh, hold on just a minute. Oh, oh gosh, just did miss it. Just did miss it. All right, here we go. All right. There we go. Had to raise it up. But yeah, when you shoot them, there'll be a mild adjustment. But again, once you find your shot, I think you'll be pleased with it. All right, one more. It's getting dark. Ooh, I just didn't nick it. Hey, these tubes, y'all can try them. All right, taters, I've had a blast over the last few weeks shooting tubes. And I would tell anybody, if you haven't tried tubes, give it a try. Don't knock it till you try it. Now, if you don't have the original torque in your collection, stop what you're doing and go down in the description below. I have a link that'll take you right to SimpleShot where you can purchase one. I promise you'll thank me later. But if you got the torque and you're just looking for some awesome tubes, down in the description, I've got another link right to SimpleShot where you can purchase these tubes in many more sizes. And with that said, I'm going to wrap this thing up. So until we meet again, be kind to each other and get out there and bust some cans. We'll see you next time. Later, tater. I literally can wring my drawers out. Taters, I'm chafing so bad, I'm going to have to walk through the yard bowed up like a crippled coon. I need some Destidin.